Welcome. All right. Namaste Amrita ji, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सुरक्षित ऑफिस वापसी इस एपिसोड में. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Diksha. Pleasure.
All right. Okay, Amrita, बताइए हमें कि अभी के सिचुएशन कैसा है, क्या सिचुएशन, क्या स्थिति है हमारे ग्राउंड लेवल पे, what's happening within the employees, within the organization. Over to you. What's your take on it?
So I think, the situation is very industry specific, if I can say so, wherever employees are concerned. We are a QSR industry. We belong to the QSR industry, which is quick service restaurant. So for our staff that is on the ground, people who work at the restaurants, at the stores, there is no option of working from home, really. I mean, when we connected, we spoke about the whole work from home and how we are kind of integrating back into offices, what are the modalities. Actually, they don't really have an option. You can't really run a restaurant sitting at home. So right from the beginning, obviously, depending on the government regulations, we have been operating as per the government norms at our restaurants. Our offices, however, have been shut. I mean, that is also governed by the occupancy percentages allowed by. We have been adopting a kind of hybrid model as of now. So that's the current situation. That percentage of people are working from home, and some of us are going to office in a staggered manner. So depending on which state allows for how much occupancy.
Superb, Amrita. चलिए हमें ये बताइए, आपने रूबरू तो करा दिया अभी के करंट सिचुएशन में, बट हमें ये जरूर बताइए कि क्या पॉलिसी और प्रोसीजर्स आप ले रहे हैं रिटेल में सुरक्षित ऑफिस वापसी में जाने में, या जिसे हम बोलते हैं बैक टू ऑफिस. तो उसमें क्या पॉलिसी प्रोसीजर्स आप लोग अभी कर रहे हैं. सो दैट्स समथिंग यू कैन स्पीक अपॉन. ओवर टू यू, Amrita.
Sure. So, like I said, in our offices, we are kind of coming back to offices. It's a hybrid model. What I mean by that is we are approaching, or we are allowing for a staggered work routine. So, specific number of people go to office on particular days. The other set of people go on other days. So we kind of plan our work so that there is no crowding. There is social distancing that is maintained when we sit. Right. So part of our desks, we are already at a hot desking model because we have a large, considerable number of people who are our field staff. So they don't really operate out of offices per se, only they come to office need-based. So hot desking as a concept was already existent in our offices. So that's on controlling the number of people we have in our offices every day, so that there's a natural social distancing that is maintained. We're avoiding any large gathering, any large meeting, training. We've kind of continuing to do it online as far as possible. Discouraged vendors to really come in as far as possible, so that more times. So that's where it comes as far as offices go. At our stores, it's been a lot of protocols because we have to follow the food safety, health guidelines as well. So we have appointed what we call as trust champions, who kind of are responsible for taking care that customers also adhere to the COVID protocols that we have. So while there is always a lot of importance and focus laid on safety of people, because we are also, it's not only about our employees, but it's also about consumers and customers. So those have been added, I think, manifold times, temperature checks, sanitization, all of that. So so quite heightened levels of protocol at the stores.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love those, that word trust. Trust team aapne baat kiya, trust champions. I love that word. Wonderful. I think it feels a lot of pride when you do that responsibility. I think that's everything. Wonderful, Amrita. Let's go to the next question. What do you think is the future of work? बहुत दफा लोग ये बोलते हैं कि हाइब्रिड होना चाहिए, हम लोग वैक्सीनेशन के बाद ऑफिस जा सकते हैं. रिटेल जैसे सेक्टर में, रिटेल जैसे डिपार्टमेंट में हमें कितना जरूरी है सुरक्षित ऑफिस वापसी, और यहाँ पे आपकी क्या राय है फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क पे? ओवर टू यू अमृत.
See, retail, like you said, retail QSR sector, like I already mentioned, work from home is not possible for the largest section of our population, right? Because it is a very physical, tangible experience that you get when you go to a retail store or go out to eat, right? So that's kind of out of the question for us. That's the nature of the industry. Vaccination is definitely a very, very important tool because we are encouraging our people to go for vaccination. While we cannot mandate it really as of now, but we are constantly encouraging, educating people about the merits of getting vaccinated, because that's as far as we know now, so that collective knowledge as of now is that vaccination is one of the most important weapons to really fight against COVID-19. So that's something, and we are holding numerous vaccination drives in association with different hospitals across the country, so that it kind of facilitates not only our employees but their families also to come and get vaccinated and keep themselves protected. So when you talk about future of work for our sector, we hope things get back to normal, our businesses kind of go back to normal. For our offices, I guess for some time at least it's going to be a somewhat a hybrid working model, because space is restricted, and it's if we pretend that nothing has happened and things will all fall back to normal, possibly that won't happen so soon. Even at our stores, our different channels, our delivery channel is much higher and bigger now than it was earlier. So we have to kind of get accustomed to the change and make the best of it. So that's my take on the future of work.
Wow, wonderful, sir. Great. I love the idea, like where it is necessary, like you said, retail में तो बिल्कुल possible नहीं है, but yes, operations जहाँ से हो सकते हैं, जहाँ पे हम लोग offices में बैठते हैं, leaders and upper department management, correct. So वो लोग के लिए जरूरी है कि उसमें flexibility हम कर पाएं और उसमें hybrid की possibilities हैं. यहाँ से एक क्वेश्चन निकल के आता है अमृता जी कि कैसे हम लोग सुरक्षित सुनिश्चित करें अपने वर्क प्लेस पे, वेयर इन विच रिटेल का तो एक सेगमेंट हो गया वेयर यू सेड वैक्सीनेटेड है, विद ऑल दीज पॉलिसीज एंड प्रोसीजर जो आपने हमें बताया, उससे हम लोग अग्रसर कर सकते हैं. बट क्या टूल्स और टेक्निक्स आप यूज करोगे जो प्री कोविड हमें यूज नहीं था बट पोस्ट कोविड आप लोग इस बारे में सोच रहे हो, वो टूल्स और टेक्निक्स क्या होने चाहिए? ओवर टू यू अमृता जी.
Right, in offices I think our focus should be to minimize contact and touch as far as we can, right? So depending upon how deep your pockets are and about the scalability of technology, use technology as far as possible. Just like we are using multiple meeting and collaboration tools, similarly, attendance can be something that where you don't really have to use your finger to punch in. So that can be geotagged mobile check-in app. For us, we have kind of shifted out of biometric in office completely. We kind of gone online because we've kind of stopped measuring hours for our corporate. It's about the work that needs to get done, and it's about productivity more than number of hours clocked in. So, and that's been our method of working even earlier. While we did have a clock in and clock out, it was never really that strict like it is in a lot of other companies that I know or work with. So that flexibility we have always had. I think it was only an expansion of that whole flexibility, that whether people are working out of home or coming in working out of office or working out of any of our stores which is close to their home, work needs to get done. I think that's it. Having said that, we really miss the sense of belongingness that is created, the collaboration that is made easier when you really come together, processes of ideation, brainstorming, problem solving, decision making, all of these is often much easier when you are kind of face to face and together. All the new people who have joined us in the course of 1 year, I went to office last week, and I'm meeting them for the first time really through face, because we've interviewed and offered and onboarded them all online. So it really feels good to have that human connect. I think you really cannot substitute that by technology, but definitely technology wherever you can minimize, like contactless motion sensor based hand washes, or water dispensing, water cooler system, if possible, coffee machines, printers, all of these tools we have always taken so granted for an office. Suddenly all touch points of germs, and this constant cleaning, sanitization, we have put in protocols right at the beginning in 2020, the number of times to be all high touch surfaces like doors, etc., to be disinfected continuously. So we have put all of those protocols in place, and now it's kind of become a habit with us. But as far as possible, use technology to minimize contact and be safe. I think putting health and safety right up front for people is important. Another trend I think I would like to mention here, Diksha, is that, and I'm sorry, it's not a trend, but I think it's a very important aspect, that health and safety of our people goes beyond vaccination. And if you can facilitate that in some way, like we have a program in the company where we offer free telemedicine consultation, mental health consultations. We offer we hold wellness sessions at regular intervals. So that's something that we are working on, and we will continue to work on, because that is kind of the center of all our policies and whatever other procedures that we have set in place, and we will continue to adopt, because we have every company has had to evolve over the last 1 year, because there was no real one rule book to follow. So I think that's the primary focus, that you get people back, but keep their safety as the primary concern. So
Wonderful. You talk about wellness. You told us a lot many factors की policies privacy उस जगह पे होनी चाहिए. Tools तो आपने बता दिया, which is very amazing. But I think that should also cater a proper wellness and a proper channelization होना बहुत जरूरी है. तब जाके उसका employee फायदा उठा सकता है. मतलब employee को फायदेमंद होगा. Right? That's very important. Okay, moving before like the message wala part, I want one just very short में आप आंसर दे दीजिएगा कि यूजुअली हमने देखा है घर से काम करने में हमें पता ही नहीं चलता, हम 20-20 घंटे काम करते हैं, राइट? एंड दिस इज वेरी कॉमन. एंड बीइंग ऑन सेट लाइक टॉप मैनेजमेंट पोजीशन पे हम जब काम करते हैं तो हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है ऑलवेज बी अवेलेबल. यहाँ पे व्हाट्स योर टेक अमृता जी कि यहाँ पे when we talk about wellness, when we talk about घर में रह के एकदम थोड़ा अजीब माहौल हो जाता है, काफी ज्यादा हम परेशान हैं, इस माहौल में हम अपने वर्किंग आवर्स को कैसे मैनेज करें और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कैसे प्रोटोकॉल्स होना चाहिए फॉर एम्प्लॉय टू मैनेज द वर्किंग आवर्स. ओवर टू यू अमृता जी, प्लीज गो अहेड.
So this is probably your toughest question. So I think the only method here is to sensitize and keep sensitizing, which we have done throughout the course of the last year, especially, where we are still getting used to this whole model and work from home. And I think it has become tougher for women, because the whole, diversity it is a question, because managing when you're at home, expectations are so much more, because you are available there, and then you have to be available round the clock for office work as well. So we have kind of sensitized people to really not hold official meetings post a particular time, keep as far as possible hold meetings for things that are absolutely necessary. So to kind of put a cadence in place so that it doesn't stretch people out so much, because people were really stretched and burnt out in the first few months of 2020. But I think right now we have settled into a routine where it is manageable. I at least I hope to believe so. And whatever feedback we have got from people. We have been constantly, as HR, we have been constantly in touch with people. So I think that's the feedback that we have got. While working hours are still long, but at least it's not, meetings are not happening at 9 in the night. So I think that's an important, it's an important move. So yeah.
Superb. I think leader like you who understand compassion, who understand emotional intelligence, are much more easier for any organization to frame such policies. Unda, बहुत बढ़िया. Okay, Amrita ji, last question of the show. What is your usually what happen कि हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा mentally stressed हैं, mentally थोड़े परेशान हैं, और ये जो 3 महीना था हम सभी के लिए बहुत मुश्किल था, क्योंकि हमने कहीं ना कहीं अपने रिलेटिव्स में या कहीं ना कहीं अपने क्लोजेस्ट को खोया है, विच इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट. तो यहाँ पे हमें वापस आना है, हमें पता है हमारे पास काम है, हमें पता है हमें डिलीवरीज देनी है, वी हैव वर्क टू डू, बट हम अपने आप को कैसे सशक्त रखें, हिम्मत से भरपूर रखें, वो आप एक ऐसा लाइन बताएं हम सभी दर्शकों के लिए, सभी लोगों के लिए, ताकि हमें उतना ही ज्यादा हौसला आ सके आपके द्वारा. So over to you, Amrita. Please go ahead. The last message.
Yes. So my message is that, and extend the empathy to others and to yourself as well. It is all right, and it is okay to feel tired and demotivated at times, but this too shall pass. So just stay strong, stay safe, follow all protocols, and whichever way suits you better, works better for your team, whether you work from office or you work from home, just follow all precautions and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Amrita ji, for being on this show today. It was lovely. I love your smile. I love your energy. Keep spreading this energy. Keep spreading the inspiration. I completely resonate with all the points that you said. Thank you so much for your valuable time.
Thank you, Diksha. Thanks for inviting me. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.